Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome to the Boxing Day 216th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast episode. I'm Merry Christmas, and this is Jingle Bells. Today's topic is principles during family time. Can you share what this means to you, Andrew, and why you're happy to discuss this here today?
I would love to. Merry Christmas, happy Boxing Day to everybody out there. This is a special day for me. It's like the post Christmas day, you know, and so it's a time of reflection for me. I'll talk about it before I got here though, or when I was wrapped up in that disease. Right, Christmas was something just to endure and to survive through sheer whatever I had in that day to get through it, right, and just to make it out on the other side and be able to start doing what I was doing again. But it was filled with a lot of, I have this regret, shame, emotional withdrawal, irritability, obsession, a lot of isolation when I'm supposed to not be isolating, right? And family time just didn't feel safe for me, whether it was Christmas or any holiday, man. Any family time was not safe for me. I felt like I constantly had to defend myself, even when nobody was attacking me. Milan, you with me?
Yeah.
You with me on that? Like that's what really, when I wrote that down, I was like, oh, it just hit hard. Like I remember defending myself when nobody was even coming at me at all. Just that resentment, the guilt, that unresolved pain that I brought into every room I walked into. It was a shame. I didn't know how to sit still. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to present without escaping, right? So Boxing Day, that day after Christmas, right, when we're that emotional high is wearing down, was about getting away, checking out, counting the hours, right, until I got to that day where I could just get back in my normal routine. And family time, right, highlighted a lot of things that I didn't want to face as I thought about it, right? Like old roles, labels, all those mistakes I had made, all those expectations, all those resentments that had built up from their side to me because of all the shit I had done to them, right? I thought about this. I was either in a full performance mode or I was disappearing my ass off, right? It's like one of the two. It was never like me, and there was no balance. I was either overcompensating for some kind of shit, or I was trying to prove like I was okay, even though people weren't asking me because they knew I wasn't. People weren't asking me if I was okay. They knew I wasn't, but I'm trying to tell them I'm okay. And I thought, Boxing Day was not about any kind of gratitude. It was full damage control for me. And so now as we come to today, right, and as I think about today, Boxing Day for me isn't just about like the day after Christmas, right? I know Boxing Day, that term is more of an international term because people in the U.S. we're not super familiar with that. Like, what boxing match are we watching today? That's what we think about when you hear about that. But like the day after Christmas, that post-Christmas day, when everything slows down, just enough for like real shit to surface. You with me, right? When people got to go back to work, right? The little winter break's done, right? And the real world kind of slaps you back in the face, right? And that excitement fades. That's when all that shit starts lingering, right? The emotions set in. And suddenly I'm left with that same family before the holidays where that triggers me. I'm left with myself, which I have a problem with myself. I just don't know it yet. And for me today, it's a day where I ask myself a few questions, Milan. I think we'll be asking ourselves a bunch of questions today, but like, how solid is my recovery when that structure loosens, right? I also ask myself, who am I when I'm not in a meeting or following this routine, right? Like I gotta realize, am I ready to kind of get myself back in the real world? I've been doing a lot of meetings, I'm real hyped up for this NA thing, this whole 12-step fellowship thing. I am all in, that. But this is like a good day for me to reflect on the past year, like how more involved into the world can I get this year, right? Like, and can I live these principles at home and not just talk about them in the room? When I'm sitting in these with family, am I practicing these principles and not just talking about the fellowship? Am I actually integrating it into my natural life, right? And I think that's a big question and a big hurdle for all of us, anybody in recovery, to be able to jump over that hurdle. I'm coming up on 4 years, right? That's a big thing. That's like, you go to high school, I could graduate high school in 4 years, right? Like there's a big jump that can be done there. And I talk about it like the first few years are like dog years. 1 year is like 7. If you really put that work in, you can get a lot back, right? So 4 years, like this is a real time of reflection for me and how I want to proceed for the next 4, right? And do I want to go to graduate school? Do I want to continue this thing? Or do I want to like go get a trade and get a good job? You know what I mean? Start working. Like it's kind of like how I think in pictures, and that's how I think I got to go one way or the other. But I'm damn sure not going backwards, right? I'm not going back to the old way, right? I know it's all good going from here. So a little long winded. I love you. I love everybody listening to you, especially people my people in Singapore. I watched the thing on Singapore last night. Holla holla. Love you guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Tetra Zini. Yes. So turkey time rolling in here.
Let's get some.
That's right. They call me the master of the early morning sandwich. Yeah. This one was funny to reflect on before the whole family got together. Like, when we set up a podcast, I send out the invites. So when I send out the invite, that kind of starts my brain flowing on it right there. Like the second I type the topic. And eh, I'm like, reflecting that I feel like, when Andrew just said, oh, it feels like 7 years is like your first year, like dog years, then I am feeling like almost like more is happening inside it the longer I'm in recovery. Like the first year, yes, I got straight. Yes, I learned about the program. But internally inside me, I feel like I've changed more in the last year than I changed in my first year.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
there's and I don't know if it's because of this podcast or what, but it's just that I feel like there's just been so many different influences coming in, and maybe it's talking recovery, 8 to 12 hours a week, and like
Maybe a little
that's
bit to do
that's at least like a part-time college education.
with it. Maybe a little bit.
But for me, uh, it was easier this year than ever to practice principles during family time. And in fact, it was like, I would actually say that this was my very favorite family Christmas of all time. The honesty, the patience, the love, the appreciation, the acceptance of who we each were, that and it was just so magical. And I was like, man, other people just been having this their whole life? Or is this just the gift of like a shit ton of recovery work? Because I mean, you could be straight and still be a jerk. Like, and I could be straight and still be a jerk. And I just don't feel like there was much jerkiness around yesterday. Like, there was just a lot of meaningful, supportive presence in the moments, and it was like, I had my role, I had my role but I wasn't the family manager. You know, like there was a lot of surrender inside that. I was thinking about that yesterday, you know, like everybody just kind of went about their part in a really happy way. And when we all came together, you know, it was the best meal. It was like the best banter. It was the funnest time. And you know, loving completely inside that. I feel like, you know, like I've said for a while on this podcast, it's like I didn't realize the damage of intolerance and lack of acceptance of others until I was able to identify it and to start offering acceptance and tolerance. And like, man, I'm watching people that I feel like I never knew for years, decades, emerge because I'm finally giving them a chance to flower in front of me. You know, like it's just absolute craziness. And, you know, I'm going to leave that there because it just was such an epic time that, you know, I can't express the gratitude I have for my family, for my friends, for my loved ones, you know, for all of you out there, for Singapore. May we meet one day. And like, you know, and for my brother up here, Mr. Tetrazini, man. Like,
Ooh, hashtag less friction. Let's go.
hashtag,
I was thinking about that the other day. Less friction when you name it. It took me a couple of rounds for me to realize what, because I remember talking about it. I'm navigating the world with less friction, right? And
yeah.
you hit me, and I'm like, what is he calling me? Less friction? What is that? What is that? So funny. I love you so much, man. You ready for my
I
question?
certainly am. Yep.
So, what does Boxing Day or the day after Christmas reveal about your recovery today, Milan? What does it reveal about it?
You know, for me, I think like okay, like 100%, whether I partied or whether I've just eaten like shit, I wake up exhausted and kind of like just not feeling good inside my body, right? So that for me is a harder starting point, right? So what like I literally was saying to my mom while we were walking the dogs, I made sure I walked the dogs before. One of my dogs ate so much turkey it wouldn't come on the walk today. He's not doing well. He's not doing well. Like Chancho,
Extended nap, Dad.
no, like
Extended nap
Chancho,
time.
like I'm a bit worried about him. He's never not come on the walk. But anyway, what I
Pray for
realized
him.
and was saying to my mom, I'm like, you know, this is our commitment to what we're doing now. And so, you know, what today says about my recovery is that, you know, um, that it's not a sometimes thing, that it's an everyday thing to me. You know, I got up this morning tired. I did my gratitude lists. I sent out my messages of love. I did my readings and I did my two-way prayer and I went out and did some exercise. You know, like what it says, what Boxing Day this year says about my recovery is love, surrender, commitment, perseverance, you know, and and then service, you know, like I'm leaving this to go open up the meeting today and chair a meeting. So like my day is oh yeah, and my daughter came home on Christmas Eve
Yeah.
and she's taking her 9-month chip today, dude.
Come on. Let's
Yeah.
go, young lady. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. I'm so
It's
proud of you and your
amazing.
family. It's a big win for when one of us celebrates, we all celebrate, bro. I got chills. Thank you.
But
Made my
yeah.
day.
And I think I'm going to leave that there because I love you.
I
Well,
love you more. I love
Mr.
you more.
Zini, you know,
Oh, the big Z. All right. So, what
Zini.
does Boxing Day or the day after Christmas reveal about my recovery today? Hashtag LLA. Um, Great question. So, it reveals for me like in depth. Well, really, I'm looking at the appearance of my recovery here, right? And it shows me like when I'm not in meetings and when things die down and that emotional high wears off, how am I going to sit with myself, right? Like and how am I going to conduct myself, right? When all that shit loosens up, you know? And it's kind of a simple question like can I live my recovery without an audience? That's what I thought about when I thought about that question. You know, I used to only be able to perform right when I had to, like and I think when I talk about an audience, I only functioned when I was distracted or like I was escaping, you know, when I had to show up for the family, right? Like that's my way to distract and escape so that I could get away from my using uh constantly for a little while. So when I'm not having to do that, what am I going to do now? Right? And that's like what this day is truly for me, is I have to reflect and look inward and see how I'm gonna choose to go to act going forward as a man, right? That's where I got my step work, I got my daily inventory, so I'm going to continue progressing, right? But if I didn't have a program, I'd be in trouble, right? Like history shows, for me at least, that I would be in trouble. Um, so Boxing Day, I gotta realize on these days, like, can I sit with myself? Can I sit with my family, my emotions, without that needing to numb, control, withdraw, which is a huge shift for me, right? I was just all the way back in. I knew all my drug dope dealers or whatever were going to be back in business 100% come today, right? Like I knew everybody was going to be on the roads, right? There was some layer of like, I'm not driving because I'm with my family. And then I'm like, you're a terrible drug dealer because you're not going to come out on Christmas. What the hell's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, I remember those feelings, right? Like really getting mad at people for not leaving their family to adhere to my disease. It's wild, man. It's wild, bro. So today I'm looking at my emotional maturity, right? That's for me where I'm looking at it. And it's showing me like, how am I going to handle discomfort going forward? I did good yesterday. Hopefully I did well, right? For me today, it was a great day. So I'm gonna build on that. But it's how I handle my discomfort going forward. It's not those big crises, because I'm not trying to have those anymore, Milan. I know I can't deal with those. So I'm not trying to look at like these things, but I'm talking about all these little things that hit my day, hit my plate on a daily basis. Those little comments that tend to piss me off in a meeting. Um, when one of those little old memories resurfaces, right, and it brings back one of those old feelings I haven't had in years, right? Maybe the last time I might have had that feeling was when I was using, right? It brings up old ties to that old person I used to be. Um, when people hit me with like that tone that's all dismissive, that what is it when you're passive aggressive? People are passive aggressive towards me, right? Like, how am I gonna handle that? Am I gonna be the bigger person, or am I gonna get right there passive aggressive but just worse? Um, that silence that I hear when my family leaves, and the lights on myself turn back on me. Like, well, how am I gonna act? Am I gonna get back into my literature, into my steps, or am I gonna get back wandering in my head, right? One side of my brain's consistently selling the best bullshit in town. The other half is consistently buying that same bullshit, bro. Looking for it, fiending for it. So where's my recovery gonna come in today, Milan, right? And so I can see now, right? Like, emotional recovery, in recovery isn't about like feeling good all the time. We're not gonna feel good all the time, bro. That's not what emotional maturity is about. It's not about putting ourselves in line to feel great all the time, because we know for a fact that's not the case, right? But um, it reveals like whether I can pause, breathe in any situation, right, and choose principles instead of like defaulting to my old behaviors. I'm an addict, bro. I want to use. I'm in an abnormal state, not using. So like this is a way for me to like really check myself. This is like one of those like spots, those quarterly checkups, where it's like the first and the 15th. I got to check up on myself, man, and just see, hey, am I ready to go going forward, or do I got to back up, call my sponsor, get in some literature, and kind of figure something out before I move forward, because I don't want any loose ends here. I don't want anybody like one of those old people playmates in playground. Like, I could lose all those numbers and just have one of the 500 I used to have, and I'm done, because it only takes that one, right? And then the cycle started again. I'm done. Like, so I've got to maintain, staying very, very, very on top of this thing, bro, because it's always there, man. It ain't going nowhere. That disease is not going anywhere, and it's in my head. It's in my thinking. And we know I can wake up any day and have the other side of my brain talking louder than the first, right? And so I've got to stay vigilant. Um, yeah, I was getting ready to go off on one for like 30 minutes, so I'm gonna stop now. I love you.
I love you too. Okay, so the big book suggests that spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it at home. Do you bring the same spiritual principles to your dinner table that you share at the podium in a meeting?
Yeah, that just continues my conversation, man. Like Boxing Day is a way of like stripping my performance. Like there's no room to hide behind like the holiday cheer anymore, right? Like we're not all hyped up on turkey tetrazzini and like sparkling bubbly water, right? Like so now where am I at, right? And what's left is honesty for me. Like this is a brutally honest day. It's going to reveal whether I'm willing to admit I'm uncomfortable and then like act like a human going forward. I'm going to blow this shit up like I used to, or um, I when I acknowledge resentment before it grows, and I'm doing that a lot lately, bro. Like when I feel that resentment happening, like I'll just squash it immediately, in one way or another. A lot of times I can do that without even bringing anybody else into it. Um, so where I notice like emotional exhaustion and how I push through it. Like when I'm exhausted emotionally, because I still am. Like how am I going to push through that? Um, and then I gotta really. This is another thing. I gotta really look at like what do I need today, right? Because I've been putting out there for everybody else for the past few weeks. It's almost like a 2 month stretch. The month leading, November, December, leading into Thanksgiving, and into December. It's like a 2 month like build up period that like if we're not ready to go, like we can we can really get a little out there. I can like on nothing. So um in active addiction, I ignored all those internal warning signs completely just because I was throwing drugs on it. But today, like the day after Christmas Boxing Day reveals, I am listening. I know how to listen today. I can actually listen and empathize. And I don't shame myself for feeling off today because I feel off a lot. But like that's what life is, bro. Life kind of sucks sometimes. Like we don't get like life doesn't get any better. We get better at life, is what I heard. And we got to continue to do that every day. And rents due every day, bro. Like yesterday's shower's not gonna keep me clean today. I want to smell good today. I don't want you like me walking by you and being like, bro, that dude didn't shower today. What's that smell? So that's real recovery for me today. I don't even know if that answered it. I really don't care. I love you.
Okay, I love you too. Do I bring the same spiritual principles to my dinner table that I share at the podium in a meeting?
Oh, I
You know,
answered it. Yeah.
yeah, you did. Yeah, that's why I laughed because you didn't even realize. um, I definitely do, and I definitely try to. I think it's way easier to be a little bit glossier in a meeting. You know, I think people's behavior buttons are just a little bit tighter. Ooh, look at them nails. Tingle, candy
They're,
cane.
they're freaking me out, bro.
And but really yesterday was like one of the magical days of recovery for me. Really, like to feel the actual real time, real life changes that have occurred inside my family and our relationships. And, and not just me, but like what what it's done to open up the hearts inside our little group of people in my family as to, I would say that, healing is occurring. And that's just a real amazing, amazing thing to be part of. And if anything, I find that to be a very encouraging thing, Um, like something going good. Here comes the Prince of Bling, Mr. Brooklyn.
This is
That's
what I
right.
got for
Yeah,
Christmas in this
that's right.
box.
The Virginia Beach glitters. That's right, Mr.
I'm so
Tetrazzini.
I'm showing off today,
He's got
bro.
the flash. That's right. He's got the
I'm
flash.
showing off with the 20 carats.
That's
I don't know
right.
how
He's
many
got
carats
20
I'm.
carats and they're not in a bag and
I
orange.
did. I did not mean to interrupt you, sir. I did not mean to interrupt.
No,
I
you know
know.
what? I was kind of winding down on that one anyway. Um I think yesterday was, quite frankly, a success. This morning has gone well with me and the family. And then from here, I mean, my daughter's coming to the meeting with me and taking a chip. She's gonna probably code like secretary the meeting with me, which would be fun.
That's so
Yeah,
dope. That's so
yeah,
dope,
dude.
bro. I'm
So
so excited.
I
What
really
time is
don't
that
know how
happening?
much, but pardon?
What time's that happening?
So we're like in noon our time.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
thinking about y'all.
yeah. We got the nooner meetings.
The
Okay, you
nooner.
got another question?
I do. How has your relationship with your family changed since getting clean? I need a detailed answer.
Okay. Well, it all started on October 1st, 2023. Life was in a crisis. I had come out of the hospital. I
Ooh,
had done, yeah.
ah.
um, one of the things that I really noticed yesterday is that, I would always be running away to hide something. I would always be trying to sneak off. Like, I didn't have to, I didn't have to like remove myself from situations or wonder if I had hidden things well enough to not be caught on some front or whatever it was. Like I could just actually sit there and get grossly fat on chocolate with everybody else, you know.
Yep. Maybe
But
take a nap. Wake up.
yeah, and then the step work really showed me where I was not having acceptance or tolerance, and for myself, I really felt the damages of that, and even inside myself, like when I wasn't being accepted or tolerated, like how did it make me feel, and how did it change me, and how can I be now that I couldn't before, like, and I feel like I can just be free, like unrelenting, silly me in a way that just doesn't give a fuck what your opinion is if I'm not hurting you. If I'm acting loving and surrendering, I could give a flying shit what someone else is thinking. And then, uh, part of it was yesterday was, it was like we had 14 people in our place. Like 14 people is a big, big sit
A
down
lot.
meal.
That's
Yeah,
a lot.
and so after the meal, I was like, I looked at my watch, and it gets dark really early here still right now, and so I was like, okay, like by 3, I'm going to walk the dogs before dark, and like and I made an announcement, and my wife's cousin's daughter's husband came with me because they had brought their 2 dogs, and it was nice that I could just set this boundary of like what me and my dogs need is some space. It's a bit more quiet, like, I mean, I live out on a farm, dude, to be like immersed at a table with 14 people. Even if I'm having fun, it becomes exhausting, you
Mm.
know? And it was nice to go for the walk and actually get to know him better. Like it was my, first opportunity to just chat with them about their life because they're like she is like going to have that baby in the next 13 days. Like
Oh,
she was
wow.
like sitting drinks on her
Ready to
belly,
pop.
like like just like it was craziness.
Ready to
But the
pop,
thing,
man.
ready to pop, and just kind of seeing how where his head's at and where their life's at, and that was a really amazing thing. And like I just wouldn't have externalized enough for that to happen.
Cool.
You
That's
know,
dope.
and so yeah, like um, I think that there's more genuine love. There's absolutely more surrender. I think there's a growing level of forgiveness, and I think things are changing.
They definitely are, bro. You're working on all those things actively every day. If you're working, like we become what we believe, like what we're talking about is what we're lurking on, like the things we do and talk
Mhm.
about, what we're working on. This is what we talk about
Yeah.
every day, all day
Yeah.
in our meetings with
Mhm.
ourselves, through each other. We're working through our problems actively. Like we are in like a like course every day, like school every day to do this for ourselves. Like we made that commitment. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch
Okay, I
ourselves.
want to read one paragraph here before I pass the puck.
Yes, yes.
I read this morning and I highlighted it because I thought it would have something to do with things we talk about today. Jealousy, envy, and pride are the causes of our own little wars, which we fight with our relations, friends, and neighbors, either in private or in public. Before these petty wars with others can cease, we must make peace within ourselves. We know it is as useless to compete with someone who refuses to compete with us as it is to play a game with someone who will not play.
Mm.
When we stop, the war stops. If we are not interested in pursuing the fight, those who try to keep the battle going find their joy and zest for the confrontation greatly diminished. And I
Mm.
thought that that was a really good thing for us during this podcast today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Where was that at? What was that from?
That's from the Oxford group. It's from that two-way prayer book, like the group that was before the AA.
I love that, man. I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you for reading that.
Yeah, I
Um,
feel like it really kind of nails it on don't hit the ball back, you know.
it does. I love that. I love that. I love that. I'll have you read that to me later, I think. All right. So how was my relationship with, oh, you were done, right?
I was done. That's what I
So how
said.
has my relationship with the fam changed since getting clean? Hashtag LLA. Well, my relationship with my family, uh, when I think about it, it didn't change all at once. Once I got clean, it was like a layered thing. Um, but it did change layer by layer, right? And at the beginning, I thought recovery was going to fix all my family dynamics and relationships. I thought that's why I was going to treatment. It was just going to fix it, right? And what actually happened is recovery fixed me. And because of that, my relationships were finally given a chance to like breathe, decompress, and that makes a difference. And that made a big, huge difference with me and my family's relationships. Um, but like before recovery, survival and separation was how I dealt with everything. That was my family dynamics. There was no, it was not real connection. And at the end, it was just like I was just holding on for dear life as a part of that family, not getting kicked out completely just because of my actions. Um, but I carried a lot of shame for who I was every day. And it wasn't getting better. There's no like getting better at that point. When we get to that, for me, when I got to that point, there was no getting better. It was just how pathetic I was towards the end. It just got worse and worse. And I never knew, like, I didn't understand resentments, why or how. I didn't care, right? Judge all those judgments that happen on both sides, the fear. Man, I was just so wrapped up, right? And I needed to control. I felt a need to control how I'd been seen, even though I knew I was slammed, packed full of problems. But I wanted to outwardly look like I had my shit going on, knowing damn well they knew that I didn't. Sick, man, so sick, bro. So sick, so sad, right? So instead of being present, I was preoccupied, right? I didn't listen. I had rehearsed responses. I wasn't listening, bro, to respond in a loving way. I already had my responses ready to go. Because family time for me was not safe. It was something I literally had to struggle through. And so hope and fear kind of mixed together in early recovery for me. And that's where like hope kind of started taking a little bit more of a role in my life. Like hope was able to kind of whip fear's ass a lot there. Like that hate, the faith and that hope, bro. You get a little bit of that early. It's powerful. And I wanted forgiveness. I didn't know how to get it though. Understanding and like having a closeness with my family just wasn't something that I could ascertain at that point. Like it wasn't in the cards after years of my behavior. But then slowly and surely, as I stayed clean, right? And I showed up and I started communicating with my family about how things were happening, what was going on. I wasn't ashamed anymore. I didn't feel ashamed anymore, bro. I remember there was a time where I stopped feeling ashamed about who I was, and I was actually proud of myself. And that's a big man. It makes me almost want to cry because I remember those feelings, and because I didn't think I could feel like I didn't think I could be proud of myself without like somebody telling me I'm proud of you, like, and having some kind of outward. I didn't think I could be proud of myself, bro. That's when I knew I was starting to love myself again. That was a big deal. Um, is when I realized I could love myself. right? And I don't know, man. I don't really need to talk anymore. That's it. I just know this is a beautiful program, bro. And I talk about love a lot. And I was not able to love anybody until I learned how to love myself. You know? So I can't give nothing away if I don't got it, right? So if you're in here and you're struggling like you're with yourself, right? Like give yourself a break. You know what I mean? Like you're not responsible for all that dumb shit you've done in your disease. Like if you're here listening, you want to get yourself better, you don't have to do it anymore. You know, you don't have to. Even if like you want to go out there and break the law and do shit, like you don't have to, right? And I had somebody tell me that early on, like even if you want to go out there and use drugs, bro, like you don't have to, man. Like give yourself a break. You know, you're not responsible for all that shit. But like you were wrapped up in your disease, like you could be a better person now. Like just don't pick up, right, and keep coming back, like, and that's just gonna happen. Like, don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle is gonna happen, bro. They used to tell me that shit all the time, man. And so if like something or that like resonates on you, like that's why we keep saying that shit, man. Because the miracle will happen, bro. One day you'll wake up and you'll be like, "Fuck, that's exactly what he's talking about, man." I'm so glad I didn't leave. So love you, man. I'm sorry.
I love you too, dude. Oh, dude, you got nothing to be sorry of. I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful we're doing this. Um, yeah, so the living clean teaches that the best amends is a changed life characterized by consistent presence. Are you truly present during your family time, or is your mind still wandering off toward things you need to fix?
I'll be honest. There's still a little bit of that wandering, you know, but I truly am present, and man, I love my family so much, man. It was so nice yesterday having them around, and um you know, they were drinking and stuff like that, but this side of the family isn't so wrapped up in that. They used to be, and they keep it a little more controlled. I do have some aunts and uncles that are wrapped up in it, and we were trying to dance around that, but the thing is, it wasn't about me anymore, right? Like they're actually looking to me for like, do we have like your aunt? Because my aunt's struggling. My aunt and uncle like didn't even want to talk to each other. It was like a powder keg ready to explode yesterday, and I was actually there as like part of the help. I wasn't the one that needed help, right? Like in terms of what can we do anything to help the situation right now? And didn't really think about that until we're just talking about it right here. It's a beautiful thing. But my mind does still wander. I feel at times sitting there, but most of the time, I say 95% of the time, I was locked in with family. But my mind does wander, right? I was able to hop on a meeting, have that in my head too, in the background for a few of it, so that helped. Um, but yeah, it's just special, bro. It's special. I can absolutely be there for family today and actually be present and know what that's bringing to me. And then in turn, I can maybe even help somebody out that might be struggling with whether it's recovery related issues or not. You know, so it's really cool to be able to be available and show up and be who I am. And they knew I was going to show up, right? I said I'm not a maybe man anymore, bro. So
The
love you.
maybe, man. I love it. Okay, Living Clean teaches us that the best amends is a changed life characterized by consistent presence. Am I truly present during family time, or is my mind still wandering towards things I need to fix? And, you know, I would like to say honestly, like Andrew, there's some wandering. There's some wandering. But I think that's, I don't think it's as much wandering towards what I need to fix as to a shit ass attention span and a poor memory. You know, like honestly, like I just can flutter about a bit on in my brain. But I was really more yesterday in a state of gratitude than a state of attitude. You know, like I feel really just so fortunate that life is going in the direction that it is, and that we all got to be together. Like, my daughter near missing the Christmas Dude, I'm telling you, like absence does make the heart grow fonder. And even if she was still here for Christmas, it felt like we missed one with her, and then we got one with her. Like it would, like the near miss of the loss created like an anticipatory feeling of it all. And I just feel so lucky that we got to do that, man. And yeah, and that's really all I got on that question there. You got another question?
No, I just want to hang out.
Okay. So anyway,
What
after this,
what recovery principle do you rely on most during family time today, Milan? What recovery principle do you most rely on? You think?
well, like what I would say is like probably trying to love completely. Like I bring it back to love and surrender. And I know you asked for one, but
That's cool.
I really don't feel that it's like I really don't feel that for myself inside what I'm doing these days, I can separate the two because, it takes that surrender that is, behind the roots of every bit of acceptance and tolerance that I can give. Like if it's like a tree, right? You got love here, and as the tree comes up, one of the main branches is surrender, and off of
Surrender,
and off of surrender comes tolerance, comes acceptance.
tolerance,
And
surrender.
and then, when I'm
Leaves of
looking at it
serenity.
like when I'm looking at it like, loving completely, like, am I keeping a record of wrongs? Like even now, my daughter says to me, keeping a record of wrongs, Dad. Like
That's cool.
if I'm not thinking it, she's saying it. And
Let's
that's okay.
go.
Because you know what, man, like she's not saying it meanly. She's saying it because I'm talking to her about actually wanting change.
Hmm.
And and patience, patience is surrender in real time to me. Kindness, that's just like, gently delivering your love, in so
Hmm.
many ways. And those are things that I really was trying to be, and I hope that I was the last couple days. And I hope that I carry that through the rest of today. Like, I mean, the day is young over here. It's 8:46 a.m. So, or yeah,
You
8:46
do
a.m.
have great hair, though.
I got some nice. Look at me. I got
Just
some
saying.
favorite curls, man. It's
That
like
makes any difference. It's great. So,
okay. You can answer that one.
yes. What recovery principle do I most rely on during family time? Hashtag LLA. Well, if I had to narrow, I mean, love is always there. I mean, love is going to always, since you get to go more than one, I can sprinkle love into mine too. But if I had to narrow it down for me to one, I would say acceptance. Um, not passive acceptance, not resignation, but like active spiritual acceptance, and the willingness to stop fighting reality as it is, as I thought it was. And why that means the most for me, when I think about it, that's like where my expectations used to like run wild. I had all these like expectations about how people like should talk about me, um, like how much like understanding I should receive. If that makes any sense. Um, I remember thinking about like how close we should feel in these times, given the situation. Like I was just overthinking and overanalyzing everything. I remember um, thinking about how healed other people should be, right? And bro, I have no control over that. It was not about me at that point, right? I remember that, there was a shift where I had to realize, bro, you got to work on yourself here. Like this is about working on ourselves here. Um, but it's not about uh self improvement. It's about surrender. Don't get that twisted. But when those expectations were met, I would feel like I remember feeling hurt. I remember feeling like resentful and disconnected. So acceptance is the principle that'll interrupt that cycle for me when I'm accepting, when I'm practicing that. And it doesn't mean I like everything that happens. It just means I stop demanding that people and emotions be different so I can be okay. Right? I used to be in that lane constantly, and I'm not there anymore. I don't have to do that today because I used to fight reality, man. I fought reality constantly, bro. I had to make my own reality. So I would make every situation so uncomfortable or whatever that other people would have to act out like I wanted to. Man, we are master manipulators, bro. We are such master manipulators because we don't want to feel that ultimate feeling of like we're gonna die, right? We don't want to feel those withdrawal feelings. We don't want to feel that come down because it's the worst feeling in the world. If we can help it in any way possible, we're gonna not feel it. So like acceptance in those times for me today is letting people be exactly who they are. I gotta accept somebody exactly where they're at, bro. Family, not family, in the program, not in the program. I no longer expect family members to speak perfectly, right? I don't expect people to understand recovery anymore. I used to come in here thinking like everybody should just know what's going on here. No, no, everybody's got their own problems, Milan. Whether they're in a program or not, it's not me. Why am I going to think that they understand where I need them to understand? No, it's about showing up who I am that day, right? And just being and acting a certain way every time, so they just know what to expect from me. So I don't have to have those thoughts going into it about tricking the process, right? They just know who I am, bro, asshole or not. Show up. Um, you know, I communicate my emotions today, which is another big thing. It's like I don't have to validate my growth today. I just got to talk about it, man. So I don't know if that answered it, but
Boom. Yeah, it did.
love
Oh,
you.
yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm asking this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Our first tradition states that the common welfare should come first, transforming a house into a sanctuary.
Mm.
Now, how do you balance your personal needs with the common welfare of your household without feeling a loss of freedom?
Yeah, that last part of it.
How do you balance your personal needs with the common welfare of your household without feeling a loss of freedom?
Well, Burrito. Um, Tradition one's all about that unity. It's all about that unity. For me specifically, where I'm at in my life today, because my other half of my family and my life, in terms of my relationship, is 10 hours away, and so it's a little different when you think about like that question specifically. Like, there's a lot of conversations that are had, FaceTimes that are had, and just other resources that are given up throughout the day to be able to get enough time in with them. But so there's not a lot of like one-on-one time. A lot of it is just known, and it's a lot of it is me doing my groundwork on my side to be able to get to live in that other place. Which I don't know how long ago you called me out, bro. Like before I even
The
knew what I
first,
was doing. You were like that. God speaks through people, and you were God that day when you were like, bro, you're moving. You were like, just as easy as it was, like you're chewing bubble gum. You're like, bro, you're
the
moving.
second you said you were engaged, the second,
I'm
that
sitting
was
there trying to have a podcast with you and talk like real recovery, and then you hit me with that, and I like literally couldn't unhear you say that, and I'm like, what? Why would you say that? And it's so true. It's so
I know.
true.
Oh, I know. I knew it. I knew it right
I'm in
off the
such
bat.
a struggle right now because part of to answer your question is like part of like my effort in this is like showing up for them is me doing the groundwork to get my ass there.
Yeah.
Finding that job, getting out of this job, transferring, whatever. That is my work right now, and I'm
That's your
slacking.
service. Yeah.
That's my service. That's my service to my family, and I'm kind of glad we're talking about it because it's kind of like what I've been ramping up to be like it's my New Year's resolution, whatever you want to call it, bro. And you can call it corny or whatever, bro. I'm making moves, but I'm going to be making moves come
Yeah.
first part of this year. So it's very important to me. That's how I had that. There's where I'm at today, right? Specifically. So
Well,
that's my answer.
I love that. Our first tradition states that common welfare should come first, transforming a house into a sanctuary. How do I balance my personal needs with the common welfare of my household without feeling a loss of freedom? So, one of the things that keeps coming up inside my two-way prayer is seek service in every moment. Seek service in every moment, man. And, so the way that I feel free today is the way inside my heart I have different reactions to everything that's happening around me. I can be doing things that I used to call hideous or just downright felt like some kind of slavery. And I can be having a great time now. Like I literally, my life is another experience. I am on the cellular level. I am not the same person I was, and so it's like, now it's not like a loss of freedom. I have the opportunity and the privilege to help and serve my family now. Like it's funny because I just I don't even see it as the same thing. I see it as like the gift it is now. Are there times when I'm tired and I don't want to do something? Yes, but I will like literally state that when I'm getting asked. I'll be like, hey, I'm like, I don't have very much left. I'm like, so I'll do something right now. You know what I mean? But I still don't consider it a loss of freedom. It just doesn't even feel like a loss of freedom to me because, like, man, there are so many people out there that are lonely, that are alone, that do not have any family left. They've lost their family or they've lost the privilege to be around them, and and no matter what bridges I burned, these guys stuck by me in a way that's just been magical. And and so I honestly just see it as an opportunity for service and the things that I'm trading don't infringe upon my freedom because my freedom's here. My freedom's my reaction and my response,
Hmm.
you know? So yeah, I'm going to leave that one there and just say, man, I love you. I love you.
I, I love you more. You hit on something really, really important that hits with me hard. Like the people out here that have lost their families, right? But then the people that don't have access to their families anymore, and it's almost like a living death. I think that's way harder too, man. When your
Mhm.
family's out here actually functioning and you're letting the world just pass you, like it's really tough to come back from that for
I got a
me.
friend who hasn't been able to see his daughter in 5 years, man.
Oh,
Like,
oh,
like and
oh.
like it's killing it, man. Like,
Mm,
so, like, I mean, like the fact, dude, that
mm.
you got a queen waiting for you
Ah,
and a new son waiting for you. I mean, dude, that's the shit you should be wanting to work for, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, but
I know, like, it's a big change, dude. I'm not saying it's not a big change, but I mean, you
it's
are
not that I
committing to this
don't.
relationship.
It's not that I don't want to work towards it. It's just I'm scared. There's a fear. It's just that fear. It's a lot of fear for me.
Yeah, I know, but once you surrender to it, dude, it's going to be so
I know.
much amazingness.
I know, I know. And just the thought of it makes me so excited. Like it just gets me
Yeah,
giddy thinking about it. It's just like I'm
yeah.
scared. I'm just fucking scared. So, but that's okay. That's a good fear. It's a good fear. It's gonna keep me right.
Mm.
So, in my answer question, I'm asking you a question. Yep, I'm asking
Yeah,
you.
you're asking me a question. Yep.
What
We're a
what
couple
Milan?
airheads. Then.
This is great.
Turkey
No,
head.
that means we're having a really good discussion. When we can't remember who's asking the questions and if we're doing that time after time, it means we're having a really good discussion, bro. You know that.
Mm.
So, what old behaviors, Milan, try to resurface during the holidays? What old behaviors try to resurface during the holidays? You find?
Well, I would say the two worst. I mean, the three culprits really for me would be look at the white and red. Andrew, look at the white.
It's throwing
You
me
are
off. I'm like cross-eyed.
getting tired. um,
I'll
the
make you
three
stare at the
the
diamonds.
three I want the diamonds. I'm hoping you're gonna mail that to me. So would be it's easy for me to be intolerant, unaccepting, and then feel anger, like and a resentment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um and I just really have like I told you that I really reduced my coffee, but yesterday, I had some coffee and I could feel the coffee making me reactionary. And there was a point yesterday where I was just like, don't let the coffee change my experience today.
How'd you
And it was,
sleep?
you know what? I I I slept kind of like shit, but like I fell asleep right away. Like, dude, I was exhausted. Like everybody split from here. I helped Michelle clean up and put away the chairs, and then I was like, I'm
It's
going
exhausting.
down,
Yeah,
sugar crash,
yeah.
dude. I had so much dessert. You don't even want to hear what I had yesterday.
Probably
Like,
not.
it was gross. It was gross. Like my body's like, don't do this to me, and I'm like, just 5 more days, just 5 more days. That's all. But yeah, like so, you know, it was it was really awesome to me yesterday because I could see when old behaviors were trying to creep in, and I'm not saying I was perfect yesterday, but I was like,
Sapping them
it
bitches.
was the most loving and
Love that.
amiable Christmas ever. Like it really was. At least it was to me. I hope if I ask them, they think the same thing. My side of it was amazing.
Do you find yourself when you're in those situations, sometimes it's so cool because it's almost like slow motion. You find yourself sitting there and like something will happen and you'll be like, bro, the old me would have done that. And you literally can watch it happen in slow motion and then not have it happen. You just kind of like laugh about it in your head and you go, but I don't have to do that shit today.
Dude, I'll tell you what happens to me. It's like I will think of something like that I could have done wrong, and I'll almost scold myself for a mistake I didn't make. Like I'm not kidding. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I'm like, whoa, I didn't do it.
You
Like
go through the whole lead up. You're like, I might as well scold myself too. Shit, fuck it.
I'm telling you, it happens. Like when I played with a band on stage, there was times on guitar where I would think about making a mistake and I would correct it before I made it, and I would still feel like I fucked the song up. Like it was crazy. Like it was and I remember talking to the lead singer of my wife's band, and she's like, "You realize nobody else heard the mistake that didn't happen," and I'm like, "Holy crap, I'm crazy!" Like,
Oh my god, it's so funny. It's so
yeah,
funny.
yeah. So I mean,
Oh man.
I'm gonna be doing inventories on things I haven't done.
So funny. Well, that's so cool. We get to talk about this, man. We're just like, just better. We're just better than we were, bro. Like we wouldn't have known each other. We'd have been still using, bro. We wouldn't have given a shit about each other at all, man. Never.
Yeah, you be West Virginia or Virginia Beach. You're
I'd
not
be
West
more.
Virginia. He's
I'd be
Virginia
more
Beach.
friction. More friction.
Yeah.
I love
But
you, man.
you be maybe friction more.
Maybe. Maybe. All right. So, am I answering right?
Yeah.
What old behaviors try to resurface during the holidays? Do I find? One of the first kind of behaviors I think about is like isolation. That's one that hits hard because I'm one of those people that can feel isolated in a room full of 1,000 people. I'm one of those addicts, and so I find myself wanting to naturally gravitate towards isolation when I hear like the rumble of a lot of people in the other room. I want to naturally gravitate towards the old way of doing things. Like people are all going to be watching me, and there's something wrong with me, but then it slowly followed with like, bro, no, you're been clean 4 years, man. Like you just went to the wedding. You just these people aren't seeing you for the first time in 5 years and trying to see whatever they already know you've been doing your shit, right? I got a job, been working a job for almost 4 years. Like I've been doing it, and I'm working a program, and I show up and I stay clean, right? And so people see that, and so it. Just always reminds me of like how this is such a mental disease and how my mind is very sick, and then for decades of putting drugs on that sick mind, because a lot of us think that like that disease was there before, like when we were born and stuff, and there's layers to that I kind of believe and don't, but I think it is hereditary. I think there's a hereditary nature to it. So instead of not using and trying to tackle those problems mentally, with clean and in a healthy way, I just obviously went the other way with it. So that doesn't help now that I'm trying to work on myself. I really have to stay actively proactive on those thoughts and actions, right? And on that compulsive behavior that's real kind of deep in my mind, right? But we've kind of hit on it a lot today, where it's like they're just fleeting thoughts now. right? They're not, it's not reality, right? These thoughts used to be reality, right? We used to have these thoughts that were like, we need to do, like, need these drugs, need to go do that. Well, they're just kind of thoughts now. You with me? Like, they don't, they don't become actions. They don't become anything more than just my brain going, bro, I'm a dumbass. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm still sick. Right. Like, that's really where it comes from. It's just like, oh, there's those sick thoughts again. Right. I can roll that shit right off my back like a duck, man, for the most part. Right. Um, I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't steady in meetings, steady talking about my problems. Because what happens is, for me as an addict, like, if I don't come into a meeting and share, and that's what I talk about, that's like our antidote to our disease thinking. If I don't come out in here and unload that, then it gets all pent up, and then it might come out in a family setting when I'm withdrawing or whatever. Like it all just comes out at one time, and so that's where, like, I don't allow myself even to get even close to that situation anymore, right? Because I'm not I'm not B, I'm talking about the shit as it comes. It's just all these things snowball into, like, being better, right? Like all that bad shit will snowball into being bad. A body at rest stays at rest, but a body in motion, a body in recovery, stays moving that way. That's how I think about it. So it's my answer.
I love that. Okay, you ready for a question?
Yes. Can we pause for
Yeah, let's do it.
big sweet?
Okay, so family life often demands the ultimate surrender of the ego through small, unthanked acts of service. Do you see these small chores as a burden or as a way to practice loving your family completely?
Both.
There we go.
No, I mean, and that's the truthful answer. A little bit of both. But there's one side of it I'm working on. I'm working on both sides, but um, I still get that natural reaction on the front side. But I look at it as absolutely do. I look at it as a way to work on it and to try to engage in that process today, because it's the only way I'm going to grow. It's the only way I'm going to get better with them. Is if I actively tackle those situations that I'm scared of. That fear. Addiction is the fear of pain, right? Whatever that emotional pain, whatever that pain is, I got to stop running from it. Because, like, when I'm with family, what I get wrapped into those old family roles mentally, right? I'll get wrapped into, like, childhood memories, because I used a lot with a lot of my family members, like uncles, and like, if I think about it, if I put all of my family up in a line, I've used with almost half of my family. It seems like all of them, right, in one way or another. And so today, that urge to, like, emotionally flatten out can still show up a lot. But again, it's kind of like a fleeting thought. Like, it's a thought. It's like, then my program comes in because I'm actively working on myself. I'm in meetings talking about how I'm acting and how I want to live. I'm not disengaging anymore, right? Um, Connection, right? I need connection and community. As soon as I get wrapped up in isolation, bro, like, so it was me and the drugs, bro. Like, I don't like me and me, right? I got to engage in connection. So I use it as opportunities to get better. Absolutely. That's my answer. Love you.
I love that. Okay, family life often demands the ultimate surrender of the ego through small, unthanked acts of service. Do you see these small chores as a burden or as a way of practicing loving my family completely? You know, First of all, one of the things that I see, like, okay, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes as a parent, you do, but if somebody is actually asking me to help them, think about how hard it is to ask somebody for help.
It's
You
the
know,
toughest.
and then if you're like indifferent or a fucking jerk, which I have been, okay, like there have been times I'm like, yeah, not so much, like I'm way too busy for that, and then I go record 3 songs that day, and they're like, no, let's see, I'm kind of less important than 3 songs. I was like, well, they're really good songs, but no, like so I really think, I'm definitely trying to actually savor that service, and and find ways to make sure that I'm coming at it with a better spirit, because I can just see how, um, like if you reluctantly, begrudgingly, and complain while doing it, service, that kind of ruins the service. I don't care
I
what
know.
anybody says. Like it is absolutely like you have now placed like some kind of shame or guilt on that other person. And so anyway, it's much different than it used to be for me. I really try to keep a good spirit about it. And I really try to actually now, like, this year for Christmas, the things I know that were important for me to do, um, I tried to preemptively have them done before my wife would ask me twice, or even ask me
Beautiful.
at all if I knew it was coming up. So, things are changing in a positive way.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Love you,
Mm,
man. Love you. That's beautiful. You ready for my question?
yeah.
How, Milan, more friction, how do boundaries protect your recovery during family gatherings and holidays?
It really does help protect, like for me, my emotional sobriety is like here, and then then it would become my actual cleanness or sobriety above that. So my emotional sobriety is kind of like the bedrock that my frame of mind about sobriety in any sort, like my recovery rides on. And so my boundaries are what allows me to maintain my emotional sobriety while maintaining communication with my loved ones. Like I could just withdraw and be okay on my own, right? Like big fucking mountain I climbed there. Like and so, there was some things yesterday where I was just like, no, I'm like, we're not gonna go there right now. We're not going there, and uh and that was enough. That was enough for me to feel like I defined what I wasn't going to be okay with. So, yeah, like my boundaries really help maintain my own emotional sobriety. Shout out to my family. If maybe I'm not the best deliverer of boundaries yet, I'm trying to.
Shout out
I'm trying.
Starcic.
I'm trying to deliver them as lovingly as I can. And I hope that 90% of the time they are.
I think you're doing a great job. I love
Yeah.
you.
I love you too.
So, my answer to how do boundaries LLA protect me from recover? How do boundaries protect my recovery during family gatherings and holidays? Hashtag
Ooh.
LLA. So before I got here, I used to think about boundaries. Like boundaries, I thought about they were like there was a negative thing to it. It was keeping people out, right? Boundaries were strictly keeping people away or keeping people out. But today, what I've realized is that those boundaries, the only thing that they're doing is keeping me spiritually safe and sound, right? That's what they do for me today. Because before I got here, I was either one side or the other, man. I was either one extreme or the other, bro. I was in like, I would absorb everything emotionally or I was shutting down completely. If it stayed too long, I resented it. I left, I felt guilty, all that shit, right? I didn't know how to protect myself without isolating. Like that, like these days, these boxing days, these days after Christmases, these days where everything is kind of decompressing. Um, they used to leave me really irritated and drained, right? Like tired, emotionally raw, because I was having to. It was like this powder keg that exploded the day before, right? And it's no longer like that. It's beautiful. Boundaries are one of the biggest gifts that recovery has given me is boundaries, being able to know what they are, set them, stay with them, stay consistent and stay true to them, because in a lot of cases they keep me clean and alive, bro. Like boundaries will keep you clean and keep you alive, straight up. Um, so now it's boundaries are what keep me from building up all these resentments and don't allow those resentments to get so bad, right? Like boundaries are what allow me to preempt this whole resentment process. It's kind of like a waving the white flag on like, I don't want to build resentments. I don't want to be that person anymore today, right? So when I stay somewhere longer than I'm spiritually able to, like resentments build quietly. So I try not to do that anymore. And so during a family gathering, boundaries will allow me to like leave the situation maybe before I get too exhausted and say something I don't want to. Maybe step outside when emotions are getting high for some reason or for one reason or another. That's how I think about it. And I can even decline a conversation straight up. And I've done that. People try to talk to me and I'm just like, bro, like we can either do it later or I don't want to do it in a family setting with these people around, Early on in recovery, there was a lot of conversations I hadn't had. I hadn't had with certain family members, and then certain family members would want to talk, and I'm like, bro, I can't. I want to do this right here, But I love you and thank you, and we will have that conversation. I just don't want to do it here, and I can talk about it another time, right? Simple, very simple, and we did, and it's worked. So without boundaries, right? I'm still trying to be perfect if I don't have boundaries. That's where my mental goes. Like I'm still trying to perform if I don't have boundaries. And this is not a performance anymore today. You're ridiculous. Without boundaries, I participate, right? I don't need to manage somebody's emotions anymore. I used to feel like I had to manage your emotions, how much chocolate you eat on air. I used to think I had to do all that, and I don't anymore. I don't. So I can choose to turn the camera off, right? I can choose to turn the camera off. Boundaries allow me to stay authentic and not just agree with obnoxious behavior like Milan is taking on right now. So I'm going to eat a nerd's rope while he's doing that. And
that's right. Okay.
I love you, man. I love you. I'm done. That's good.
I had pepperoni, turtles, and real fruit berries.
Damn it. Now we just need some swamp juice to swamp it down with. We'll be all right.
I'm just going to drink out of a puddle.
You're ridiculous.
Okay. So Bill W. described emotional sobriety as the end of our demanding expectations of others. Is your happiness still dependent on how your family treats you, or have you surrendered that power to a higher power?
You talking about B-Dub? My man B-Dub?
Yeah, B-Dub.
All right, man. All right. Well, I have, man, my surrender game is on 10 right now. I really have learned to use surrender to help that process, and it has made the process beautiful almost, man. Bro, I can't with you. Singapore, what are we gonna do about this dude? I can't take him anywhere.
Take me to Singapore.
I don't know if I can bring him to Singapore with me. We're supposed to be doing a private showing out there, but like I don't know if I can bring him. I don't know.
A live Singapore podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next September.
You're only allowed to eat a few, but so many treats per hour when we get to Singapore, bro.
Not on Christmas. We better not do a Christmas special in Singapore.
So the surrender is so beautiful, bro. It's lighting my load 35-40% because I understand, bro. A, it's not all about me. B, I can 1, 2, and 3 right? I can step 1, 2, and 3, whatever situation that seems a little pressing to me, right? I can surrender, identify, and turn it over. I can turn that shit over, man. Try to identify that problem. I can do what I can about it and, put myself into it as much as I can to help myself or whoever out. But then I can turn it over, bro. I don't have to manage it to the end. I don't have to get all the way to the finish line to see where that process ends. I can surrender it, bro, and move on. It allows me to help other people, help myself, and stay right and not get bogged down, bro. I got to keep it moving, man. If I don't keep it moving in this process, bro, I will get chained down. And that disease can catch up to me at that point, right? If I don't keep it moving, well, and I've said this before, I'm not going to hear those chains around my ankles, bro. You're not gonna, and I won't be able to take them off. If I don't hear the chains, I'm dead. I'm a dead man walking. So I got to keep it moving. Got to keep it enthusiastic. Part of that is surrender all day, man. I'm Sammy Surrender. Let's go.
Sammy, I love you. Okay. Bill W. described emotional sobriety as the end of our demanding experience of others. Is my happiness still dependent on how my family treats me, or have I surrendered that power to a higher
With
power?
a full belly.
Whoa, I'm just telling you, I just hit that candy hard. It is only 9:22 a.m. here. Oh. Anyway, that's what happens at Christmas time here for the Starcic
Oh
family.
yeah, let's
We go
do it.
wild. Um, you know, I'd love to say I'm independent. My happiness is entirely independent of them. But I still can get ticked off when I'm getting unkind words or unkind actions or what I perceive to be unkind. When I misinterpret facial expressions or when I misinterpret um, when I misinterpret intention in something, like when I don't take the time to clarify and I react before I even give them the benefit of the doubt. That's one thing that I find is that, like if I just eliminate communication, like clarification of communication, like what was your intention with that?
Yeah.
And if I just start making like assumptions that was like intentionally hurtful or like, I'll go to some really stupid places. And I notice that other people do that with me too. Like, some of my family members are losing their hearing and what they'll make up I said, I'm like, what? I'm like, you think I'm
Why
saying
would I ever say that?
I'm like, holy shit, am I ever a villain in your mind? Like, and so, but, when I don't clarify a communication that I think is hurtful and I immediately go to strike back mode, that's not loving completely. And it's not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt
Oh,
to be loving. So, anyway, that one is a real work in progress with me because I have days where I'm just like, la, 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 like I'm like the Smurfs on my own little show. And then and other days where, man, I feel like everyone's a Gargamel. So I'll
you,
leave that one there.
you saying we'll check back with you on that one?
Yeah, we'll check back with me. That's right. We'll see me next Christmas about how I am about that.
All right, we'll see that. Whose question is it?
You asking me.
I'm asking you. I'm so sorry that I got off track. Number six. Where's my number six here? I'm sorry, buddy. So
It's all right.
this one is: how does gratitude change your experience of Boxing Day or the day after Christmas? How does gratitude change your experience?
You know, we sat down for dinner yesterday and I basically gave like a gratitude speech for everybody's presence, for all the love, for all the
Nice.
experience. And, I really think that I made gratitude a big part of my day. Like even this morning, I woke up, saying how much I loved them and that, but the gratitude keeps the focus on what we're lucky for. Like there is so much stuff we're lucky for. Like I am so spoiled. Like my house is like real nice and warm. The floor is heated in the kitchen and living room.
Ooh.
Like my turkey was perfect. Everybody else's food was perfect. I was surrounded by loving people, laughing and eating and playing, and there was, like wonderful dogs there that love us. Like, man, I was still breathing yesterday. Like
Mm,
I am beating the panoni here, and
okay. Okay.
yeah. So, I think that the gratitude keeps that stinking thinking at bay. The gratitude keeps love as the focus. The gratitude is really something that it helps the loving completely grow. It helps me sustain a state of love. Despite how much coffee or chocolate I have. And Andrew just saw I can eat a lot of chocolate. You better look at
Ooh,
it.
all at once, bro.
Yeah, that's
Mm,
right. That's right. Okay, now it's Andrew's turn, but
the
guess what? While Andrew
chocolate
talked, I
factory.
have pepperoni and more chocolate.
Ooh, I don't believe you. Pictures or it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Okay.
So I'm gonna answer this. How does gratitude change my experience of Boxing Day? Hashtag LLA. So this is a mind test on can I still answer while being distracted by the Grinch. Don't. So gratitude doesn't change Boxing Day, but like making it easier really. Just just makes it honest for me. makes it bearable. Um, because before like all this, like gratitude was something I used to like talk about or hear about, but never really had for myself. Because it was like all conditional. But gratitude today is a choice. It's a choice for me, man. It's not a reaction. It's not a reaction on circumstances today. This is something I can practice. Gratitude going into it and coming out of it. And there's a lot of things to be grateful for on days like this, man. Just like you said, I'm breathing today, man. I'm sitting here with you. I can talk about my emotions. I can filter my thoughts and my emotions and not have to go use today, bro. Like that right there is an absolute miracle. Because I did it yesterday too, and I'm gonna do it tomorrow. That's the plan. So be able to be grateful in the moment, bro, is everything. It means I can stay connected to him, right? I can reach out to him at any time if I'm like present. I was able to give my family presents, not presents yesterday. Thank you for that. You hit me with that one, but yeah, I was able to finally give
With a
my family
CE.
presents with a CE, with not a TS. Right? We're CEing today, not TSing today, dog.
Boom. I'm
Boom.
here. I'm now.
Hashtag CE no TS. So yeah, I'm just so man, I'm bro thankful and I have so much gratitude for just those simple things right there, bro. The simple fact of like waking up in the morning and wanting to like get into a meeting and have a cup of coffee, not fucking use drugs and feed the beast before I wake up. It's just beautiful, bro. Um, I think I'm pretty much done. Did I give you enough time to eat?
Oh, yeah. We got a couple more here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, step 10 is a house cleaning step at home. This means admitting we're wrong the moment we realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Does admitting a mistake to a family member feel like a defeat or like a doorway to a deeper connection?
No, sometimes it'll feel like a defeat. Because I'm so on it. Like I love, honesty is like my superpower today. Is just being able to answer a question and not think about my answer to that question every time is just beautiful. Because what was the answer? What was the last part of that question? I'm such a dummy.
So it's does admitting a mistake to a family member feel like a defeat or like a doorway to a deeper
Yeah.
connection?
So it's both. Because but I can use that as a growing experience today. Like even as it comes across right initially as a defeat or whatever, I'm realizing and I can really turn that into an opportunity for growth. Whatever way I can, um, having a conversation with that person or whatever, trying to do it in a way that's totally different than the way I used to do it. I find relief in that. I find comfort in that. I find serenity in that place, right? And then when that kind of thing happens over and over again, it kind of is part of my amends to myself, right? It's part of that like goodwill process and like doing the right thing all the time, regardless. And that's when like other people will start to realize like, hey, this dude is not an asshole anymore. He might not be using it anymore, right? And it's not about me telling them; it's about me showing them. It's about showing me you're in recovery without telling me you're in recovery, bro. That's what this thing is about. I don't need you like plastering it all over your face. You got 5 years clean. Just show me. Just show me. Today, tomorrow, for good reasons, bad reasons, in the middle of a shitstorm, or it's the calmest day ever. Show me. And when it comes to recovery, and I'm not from Missouri, but I'm from the show me state. I'm from Missouri when it comes to recovery. You got to show me, man. I'm from the show me state. I had a boss who used to tell me that he was not from Missouri, but like if I would come to him like with a problem at my job, I was working at ADT security. He'd be like, bro, you know what state I'm from? And I'm like, fuck. It was like you need to step up and show me. It was like his way to show me, like you got to show me, bro. And whenever he would hit me that, it was like, damn, I got to go get some work done. All right, I'm done.
I love that. You got another question for me?
Yes. Damn, I keep forgetting that we're filtering through these things. Yes, I got it right here. Number 7. What commitment am I making to myself? What commitment are you making to yourself going forward, bro? I want to hear about it.
You know, I would just say that my commitment is to continue. It's not on a particular thing. It's, I'm I feel like I'm just on the edge of this like surrender and loving completely thing. And I just want to continue on the trajectory I'm on and kind of have life unfold for me what it'll be that is my next major things, you know? Um, and to be honest, man, my life is really full. Like my life is full. I got lots of stuff going on and I'm just really happy in the direction it's rolling. You know, I'm happy for a rinse repeat. Like if 2026 turns out to be just like 2025 in the sense of growth and love and freedom and everything, great. You know?
Well, if I have anything to do with it, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Less friction. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So what? This is my last question too.
And I'm not eating any more pepperoni, by the way. I'm
I
done.
don't believe you. I don't believe
My
you.
belly's hurting now.
Keep your camera on the whole time.
I swear, I won't.
All right, I'm watching you, bro. Singapore, are y'all watching? What commitment am I making to myself going forward, Andrew? My commitment to myself going forward is so simple to like say, but it requires daily action, right? My commitment to myself is simple. My commitment is to protecting my recovery with the same seriousness that I once protected my addiction with. That's my commitment to myself. I was a savage in active addiction. I didn't even need a phone, and I would be in your fucking inbox, bro. I didn't even need a phone, right? I got one or two phones now, and I go into here as an addict thinking that it's a problem picking up the phone to save my own life today, in a clean sense, right? To talk about my problems, not to like call you to come meet up to get drugs, but just to call you to talk about my problems, and that's how it's gonna keep me clean. Like I got to pursue what y'all are telling me to do here. So that's my goal. That's my commitment to myself, right? And it shows up in these times of year, like these times, Boxing Day, Christmas, all that stuff. It shows up the most clear in those times, man. Because I've got to stay committed in these times, right? That's why we do a lot of these. Like we're doing a New Year's speaker jam where it's like 4 p.m. the day of through the New Year's into the next day. Like as NA, we're special people, and we come up with these things to get us through these times, man. There was a bunch of all day like Christmas-a-thons, like all day meetings yesterday. Like we all rally around each other to keep that commitment to each other, right? To stay clean, right? And to stay steadfast in this thing, bro. We're not just gonna sit around and let like the disease catch up with us. Nah, no, bro. Ain't happening, man. This is a commitment that we made to ourselves to be different and to never use anymore, bro. We're not gonna pick up no drug. Like our ultimate goal is to get that infinity chip, man. That's my goal, right? And I see people in here. Miss Brenda, 48 years clean, was in our meeting last night talking about it. I know I'm in the right place, bro. I got that woman's following me around all over the world making meetings at 50 years clean, bro. Are you kidding me? I don't even think I'm gonna live to be 50. She been clean 50 years, and she is on it, bro. She is in these meetings doing the same shit I'm doing. I know I'm doing the right thing, Milan. I know it. We are. We can't. There's nothing. I mean, argue me about it. We're doing the right shit, man. I'm in the right place. Love you. I'm done.
I love you too. I got one last question here. Okay. Living clean reminds us that our loved ones learn more from what we do than what we say. If your family only had your actions today to understand the 12 steps, what would they think freedom looks like, Andrew?
Oh man, bro, I've been talking
That's
about
a
this all
good
day.
question.
Bro, that's a beautiful question. It's like I'm from the show me state, bro. You got to show me, right? And I have this saying that I say, like, if people could not hear a word that you say but could only see your actions, what kind of person would they say you are? If people could literally not hear a word you ever say but only see your actions, what kind of person would they say you are? I live by that, bro.
They might think I'm from Singapore.
Or Beef Jerky
I'm
Land,
kidding.
or Charlie Chocolate Factory Land. One of the two. I don't know. I'm not sure, bro. Fucking so funny. Yeah. So that's where I'm at, bro. Like it is really the words and stuff really don't mean anything as an addict. I'll keep it on me. because I have been using words to dress up the reality of who I was for a long time, bro. I've been using words as dressings to keep me a place to live and all this other shit for a long time, bro. And it's no longer about that, bro. My words don't mean anything today. They do, but they don't. But that's where like clean time comes in for me, bro. Like clean time, I've been on the record saying this, doesn't mean a fucking thing to me at all. I feel like it's really nothing sauce to me. But like if you woke up before me today, you have more clean time than me. So like I have more clean time than Milan, but he wakes up with more clean time than me every day because he wakes up before me almost every day. Right? It's not about that. But where clean time makes all the difference in the world is my
Well, I
family.
think it is about how early you get up.
So, but what it does is, right, is that clean time allows me to come to the dinner table with some kind of footprint, right? Some kind of, it allows me to get some of the benefit of the doubt back without having to say anything, right? Just the fact that I've been, been clean without using for 4 years is a big deal in just getting the family, getting those things back that I want, those healthy things back that I lost in my disease, that I actively pushed out of my life. And so that's where that comes in and is so, so important to me. It's about living these values today. The only way I'm going to live them is work the steps, bro. I'm not going to come in here and say, oh, I'm part of NA because I say I am, right? And then think that I am now a principled individual and I'm living by honesty, love, and I know how to feel it. Don't put stain on our name like that. It don't work like that. You got to do a lot of work to be able to incorporate these things into our lives, bro. Yeah, talk about them till you incorporate them, but like you are not going to be able to live and get everything that this program has to offer if you do not work those steps. I'm gonna just say that right now. Love you.
I love you too. So if my family only had my actions today to understand the 12 steps, what would they think freedom looks like? I think, first of all, I would say some serenity and peace. Like my life is not just that, but it has grown. It is now part of my life. Serenity, peace, contentment, and joy. Like, when my wife got up at my 2-year cake, she said, I don't know much about this program. She said, but this man is happier than he's ever been in the 24 years I've ever been with him.
Mm.
And so I think that her little speech was a good reflection of what this question would be answered like by her. What does it look like? They would say that it looks like commitment. It looks like discipline. It looks like every fucking day. Like it doesn't look like part of my life. It looks like a way of life.
Not
like
part-time job.
Yeah, and I don't play it like that. It doesn't it doesn't become part-time for me ever. In fact, it's like, I love it. I love it. I love it all day. I love it every day. And and I love you, brother.
I love you more.
And so, how about we do a little serenity prayer and we call it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ready?
God,
grant us
the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Solo por huepa. I love you, man.
That's right. I love you guys. And tune in next episode for more recovery fun.
Merry Christmas,
we love you.
Happy Boxing Day.
And
Singapore, let's go.
Singapore, we love. Please help us help others. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.